females over the years who have portrayed the character of Batgirl on television, whether in live action or animation. But there has been only one, Yvonne Craig, and her portrayal of Batgirl in the 1960s live action Batman TV show is remembered so fondly by fans to this day. I'm BRB, and on this episode of Terrific TV Toys, we're going to take a look at what is probably the very first released officially licensed piece of merchandise celebrating Yvonne Craig's specific portrayal of the Batgirl character on the Batman TV show of the 1960s, which was the debut of the Barbara Gordon Batgirl, by the way, which I'll explain in a moment. In spring 2013, it was announced that for the very first time, the 1960s live-action Batman TV series would be officially licensed for merchandise. And it was exciting news for fans of the show everywhere, and then merchandise followed soon after. There's been a lot of good stuff that's been released so far, and you're going to see some stuff in future episodes of this series. But for this one, we're going to concentrate on the very first piece of merchandise for Yvonne Craig's portrayal of Batgirl on that TV show. And it's exciting, so it's an appropriate way to start what probably will be one in several installments on the Batman live-action series starring Adam West. So Adam West, Burt Ward, Yvonne Craig, the three heroes of that TV show have all signed licensing agreements. The thing about Yvonne is that she signed hers later than the rest, and so lots of other merchandise has been released before now, and her merchandise is only starting to arrive. And this particular piece was released in late summer, early fall-ish in 2014. But first, let's talk about Yvonne a little bit. Yvonne is one of my heroes. I've met her several times over the years. I first talked to her in Detroit. Actually, I talked to her over the phone for an appearance that she was going to be making at the Motor City Comic Con. And that was many years ago, like 12, 15 years ago, when I was working for the Detroit News. So I did a little story for the Detroit News on her in advance of her appearance at the Motor City Con. And I don't know if you can see, it's faded a lot, but she signed this photo for me. She's wonderful. And look at her in that outfit as Batgirl. She was so iconic back in the day. And then more recently, I saw her at the Motor City Comic Con. Probably, I think it was 2012, saw her again, chatted with her, and purchased her book. And I highly recommend this book. It was wonderful. I enjoyed what she had to say about really another era of Hollywood, an era that's gone by. She worked back in the 50s and 60s in Hollywood, and things were done differently back then. And what she has to say about that is very, very cool in this book, so I highly recommend it. Of course, she was a ballerina, also very talented dancer. Probably the other role that she's known the best for, and definitely in the geek fandom world, is that episode of Star Trek that she did, the original Star Trek series with William Shatner. She did an episode called Whom Gods Destroy, and here she is, the Orion slave girl. Had an amazing, amazing dance sequence in that episode that will knock your socks off. Very talented dancer. I love that scene in Star Trek, one of my very favorite Star Trek scenes. So get this book and you'll read more about Batman and Star Trek and her experiences on them. As far as Batman, she's listed for 26 episodes of that on the IMDb. The show itself aired from January 12th, 1966 to March 14th, 1968. That's when the last original episode aired. And Yvonne Craig came along at the beginning of the third season of the show, and it ran for 3 seasons total. In the episode Enter Batgirl, Exit Penguin, and that aired on September 14th, 1967. Her outfit, by the way, was not from the comics. And see, this character of the Barbara Gordon Batgirl was created in the comics and on the TV show at about the same time. There had been another Bat-girl in the comics in the 1960s. That was a little blonde. I believe her name was Betty Kane. and cute little bat hyphen girl. But the Batgirl that we really know is the Barbara Gordon Batgirl, and Yvonne originated that role on the TV, and it's been done in other series since then, like for instance the Batman animated series of the 1990s had the Barbara Gordon Batgirl in it. Even Batman Beyond that followed it had Barbara Gordon Batgirl, and The Batman, some other examples. But she originated that role, and definitely in live action. And then Julia Schwartz created that character of the Barbara Gordon Batgirl in the comics at around the same time. So that is worthy to know. But this costume is original. This beautiful purple and yellow costume. It's crazy, and I own a replica of it. You're going to see in another video, and I dearly love it. So we'll look at that in another episode. But this is not from the comics. In the comics, she wore originally a sort of gray or black leotard with yellow accoutrements like the belt and cape and all of that. But this was definitely a purple sparkly thing she had going on. So that's what you see here in this gal. And we're going to take a look at this. This is it, the piece of merchandise we're talking about, very first officially released of Yvonne, and we're going to do what I call an out-of-the-box experience for this episode of Terrific TV Toys. We're going to walk you through the process of actually opening this, although there's not really much to open. You know, it's not like other out-of-box experiences that you'll see in this series, but we're going to cut the tags off, so that's exciting, right? So if you own this and you haven't done any of that and you're leaving her just like this to display, then you can experience with me that whole joy of actually opening your toy and loving it, almost like a kid would, because we're all kids at heart, right? So this gal retails for $19.99. She is listed as 10 inches tall. In fact, it says that here, 10-inch plush figure. She is by Bleacher Creatures, and you can find her on bleachercreatures.com or on the Entertainment Earth website, where it even makes note that Yvonne's image and name are used by permission on the bleachercreatures.com website. So I found it interesting that they noted that, you know, given how long it took for this show, this TV show, to be licensed officially, and how big a moment that was in the geeky world that we all live in. There are several others in this set, including Batman and Robin, and a few other characters. So, but Batgirl, this is exciting. Here we are, cutting the tags off. Woohoo! Let's do that thing. And let me see the tag. Just got a little bit of an image on the inside. Batman Classic TV Series, put your passion in play. And barcode and etc. on the back with the official WB and DC and Batman logos. Now, little feet are in here with these little things. Oh yeah, she'll come right out that way. Okay, so like I said, pretty easy for an out-of-the-box experience, but here she is, and this is how she's going to remain in my collection. She's wearing that purple, and, well, here it's gold. The belt is gold, and you could argue that on the TV series it was kind of a yellowish gold. Some people see it more as yellow. Her emblem is yellow here. The inside of her cape is yellow, and then the back of her cape is purple. Her hair is sort of just a piece of felt-like material that is fuzzy on one side and it is smoother on the other. It's very simple. And on the TV show, Yvonne Craig wore, and Barbara Gordon wore, a red wig to don the mantle of Batgirl, but naturally her hair was very short brunette. When Barbara Gordon was working as a librarian, as was part of her character, it was short dark hair that she had. So, and this red is not really, it's an interesting red. It's more like burnt orange, to tell you the truth. And the purple here is really purple. It doesn't have any kind of sparkly or metallic component to it. It's just straight up purple. And, you know, in some lights, the actual costume could look blue, which would make sense for a Batgirl who is patterned after Batman's outfit. But, you know, I think we look at it and we see it basically as a purple, and it was a one-of-a-kind type of outfit. So that's basically who she is. She's got a little bit of razzle-dazzle here on her gloves with purple gloves, which matches the original outfit, and then she's got her tags here that have all of the logos on them and all the other legal material. Flat feet, it feels like there's cardboard or something on the bottom of her feet to give them shape. And then she's just squishy all over, as a typical plush would be. Squishy head. The black part of her cowl looks like it's a separate piece overlaid. She's got a little bit of stitching for her cute little pink lipstick. And then she's got her ears sticking up too. And then a little bit of detail here. You can see some treatment to denote where her boots are, and then some other treatment on her outfit too. Just a little bit of trim and detail. So yeah, that's our girl. We want to see more of this stuff. We want to see more Yvonne.